Welcome back, guys. Today we'll talk about a very exciting topic, and that's Ajax. In particular, we'll talk about and work with the Fetch API to load in new content when we click one of our beautifully animated links. And yeah, what I imagine we'll do is basically click on a link, and this text will be animated out, and we'll animate in a new title, some new text, and a new button. That's not a whole lot, I know, but it will teach you everything you need to know to basically transform this whole website into a load-free experience, basically. You can also use it to implement this actual gallery. Like you can use the same concept on those buttons and switch through the images or through this counter, which also someone of you commented he'd like to see how we can change those. Unfortunately, I didn't get around to doing that, but it's really that simple, and I think you guys can figure that out by yourself. Um, but let's get started. So there are a few things you guys need to set up. First of all, a new JavaScript file. I called it fetch.js and included it into my HTML file. And then there are a few classes we need to add. First of all, each one of your links will need a ID. Basically, this one is collection link, new link, and so on, trending and popular. So we can target them more easily via JavaScript. And the next one we'll need is this text content, text section wrapper. This one needs a class of new content also to target it better. But that's everything we need to do in our markup. And yeah, we can now start writing our JavaScript. What I would recommend you guys do is write a simple comment of what you are wanting to achieve with this file. It usually helps me to stay on the right track and know what I'm actually trying to accomplish. So what you could write is something like, for example, load new page content via dot fetch when link is clicked and animated. That's basically what we want to do. And yeah, what we'll need to do first is select all our links for that. So we'll create a few variables. One of them will be called collections link, and it will be equal to document.querySelector, like that, and we'll simply say hashtag collections link, and we can copy this thing. And how many times do we need it? 1, 2, 3, 4. So one more. Next one will be the new link, and then we'll have the trending link, and the last one is popular. Alright, and of course change the selectors. This one is new link, then we have trending, and finally popular. So these are the IDs we added right there. Awesome. Next up will be, in order to add a event listener to all of them, we'll create a array of those links. So it will be link array square brackets and simply say collections link, comma, new link, comma, trending, and popular. So that's our array, and we'll now loop through this array and add a event listener for each of them. So what we'll do is take link array dot for each is something we can use, and inside of for each we want to execute a function. This function will take as an argument, let's call it each link. So this will be the individual link that's currently being looped through, and what we'll do for it is each link dot add event listener, and we want to listen for a simple click and execute a function again. This function will now do something. Yeah, surprising, right? We'll use a switch, in this case, a switch statement to check which link is currently being looped through, and depending on that we'll call a function with certain arguments. So what we'll do, I'll explain it to you along the way. We'll write switch, and the element we want to work with is each link again. So the link that's currently being looped through, as I said, and we want to cover the different cases. So one case could be, of course, the collections link, just like that. And the next one will be, let's just copy that, like that. So we'll need collections link, new link, and trending, and finally popular. Alright, let's space them out. Okay. So in case we have the collections link as the link that's being looped through, we will call a function, let's call it fetch page, and we'll need two arguments for it. One of them will be the link, so we know which link we are working with. So each link will be that one, and we'll also need a string with the page that we want to load via fetch. So what you'll do is, in case it's collections link, we want to load collections.html, and I forgot to mention that you'll also have to create these different HTML pages. So we have our index, and you'll create 4 new ones for the different sub-pages, and let's look into this one. So it basically has this column wrapper, which we already know from let's see, yeah, from our index HTML page. So the column wrapper goes from here all the way down to here. That's kind of the snippet you could copy into your different HTML files, and you'll give them a class of new content, and then you can edit everything inside here. So I added a new heading, I added some text here, and I changed this button to say collections instead of details, right? And that's how fetch basically works. You'll tell it which HTML page to fetch, and it will take whatever it is in there, and it will load it into the new page. And you can also manipulate where in the DOM you want to place it, so it displays correctly with your CSS. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, you really have a lot of options there, and there are really no limits in what you want to do. But this is the thing I decided to do because it's pretty straightforward and simple to understand. So once that is done, we want to break. Break, not like that, break. This is the break we're looking for. Alright, same thing goes for all the other links, except for one difference, and that's the page we want to load. So if it's new link, we want to load the new page.html, which is this one, and it looks exactly the same, with the difference that we have some other content here, okay? And yeah, again, same thing there. Change that to trending, indent, paste, indent, and popular. Let's see, that's everything we need for our little for this part basically. What we now need to do is, of course, write our function. We call it fetch page, and what it needs as parameters is first of all the link that we're working with, which we give in through each link, and the page that will be loaded, which is each of those. Inside fetch page, we'll first of all need to create the URL we are working with. The way we do that is by creating a new variable and calling it, for example, base URL. And we will use, let's see, yep, sorry, like that. And you need these kind of backticks. I'm not sure what they're called, but we'll need those because we'll now use our little $sign and our brackets to let's see, what do we need to do? We need to first of all get the protocol we're working with, so we'll say window.location.protocol. This will basically read out which protocol is currently being used, so that's either HTTP or HTTPS, for example. And after the protocol we'll have a double slash, and the next thing we'll put in here is our host name, so window.location.host name, and that basically creates our I deleted this one, there we go. This basically creates our base URL, and we'll now need to add one more little thing to it. So we need to check if there is a port. So if window.location.port is available, we'll take base URL and plus equals, so we'll add something to it, and that's in this case with our backticks again. We'll add a colon, and after the colon we'll add the window.location.protocol. So if we have one, we'll add that. Oh, sorry, it's of course port and not protocol, like that. So if there's a port, we'll add that one as well to the base URL. Now now we can start to write our actual fetch command, which basically goes like this. You write fetch, and then we can put in our base URL. just add the base URL like that, and after that we'll need simply again $. We'll need to add the current page, and that's the parameter we have here. That's the page, because we now have our link with the protocol, with the host name, maybe with a port, and then we can load in the current page. I hope you guys understand the logic here. We add a event listener with click. It switches through all the links, and if it's, for example, collections link, it calls this function with a collection HTML page, and this page is then used in our fetch command. This is how we do this. And yeah, after the fetch we'll write, so we will simply add a .then. This is how we write fetch basically, or how we use the fetch API, and inside then we want to run a function with a response object, I think. And yeah, we'll run this function, and this function basically just returns something, and it returns the response dot text. And yeah, that's everything we need for the first then statement. We'll write another one which will of course also run a function. Actually, let's keep this consistent and make an arrow function out of this, like that. Same thing here. Good. This function takes in HTML, and what we now do is we'll create the actual HTML, or we'll convert it into HTML. So what we'll do is create a variable called doc for document, and we'll do new DOM parser, like that, dot we'll need parse from string, and the string we are using is HTML, and we'll convert it into text slash HTML. This basically takes our text and converts it into actual HTML. So this is where we'll write our first animation, because we'll animate as soon as we call this function. All these things happen. We create our link, and we use it to fetch our page. And then when we have created our HTML, we want to animate this stuff out, and as soon as that has happened, we want to remove it from the page, because afterwards we'll play another animation and add in the newly fetched content. So we'll write anime. You guys probably already know that. Anime, if you've watched the last video. And we'll simply write targets. I always mess up this freaking word. Targets. And the targets will be text section h1, text section p, and text section div. So let's look at which elements these are. This is basically those right here. The text section h1, p, and the div is our actual button. I kind of thought about an animation beforehand, and I think what would look nice is translate x 700. So we'll animate it to the right, and it'll slowly get a opacity of 0 we'll of course use our easeOutExpo easing function again, like that, and we will set the duration to 700, as that makes it a little faster. Actually, it's not easeOutExpo but rather easeIn. I think this one looks really nice as well. And this is important, we'll use a callback function. So we'll write complete, and we'll have to put anim in there and call this function, which basically, it's called as soon as the animation is finished after 700 milliseconds. And what we'll do, as I said, we want to remove our current content, and that would be simply this column wrapper, because as you know, in our collections HTML, for example, we have included this complete column wrapper, so we have to remove it. And the way we do that is simply say document, and this is important, it's document, so the current document, and it's not doc, because doc refers to the page that we're loading. So it's document dot, very simple, query selector, not a double dot of course. Query selector, we'll select dot column wrapper, and we will simply say dot remove. This removes the element as soon as the animation finish. I'm not sure if we can see something already. Let's try this. Look at that animation. And no, we cannot yet see it. But okay, I guess we'll have to continue. So the next thing we'll do is set a timeout. So why a timeout? Give me a second here. Timeout. So we'll need a timeout of 700 milliseconds. That's because we want to wait with adding the new content until our old content is removed, because that happens after 700 milliseconds, so we'll have to add our new content after 700 milliseconds as well. Now, this is how you do it. You write document, so the current document, dot query selector, and we'll select the whole body of our current DOM. And we'll use insert before. You can really use whatever you want in here. You can also use like jQuery functions if you want to. You have to play around with this and find out where you have to place your content to make it display correctly. In this case, we need to insert before, and inside of insert div before, we'll first give in as an argument our element that should be inserted, so that's doc, so the new document, dot query selector, and we'll select new content, because new content is what our column wrapper has as a class, so we select this whole HTML. So we want to insert new content, and we want to insert it before our gallery nav, and I'll show you in a second why that is. So again, document, so the current one, dot query selector, and it's dot gallery nav. Boom, that's kind of a long statement, but yeah. So this, let me find the gallery nav, that's right there. So as you can see, our column wrapper ends here, that's before the gallery nav, so that's also where we have to place our new content. That's why we select the gallery nav right there. Alright, and we will need to now animate this as well. So we'll write anime, and we will use targets, and in this case it will be .new content dot text section and p, or let's start with h1, stay consistent there. Copy that and paste it, and we'll need the p as well, dot new content dot text section p, and paste it again, and the div again, that's the button, comma, and the animation we'll use here is translate x, and this time we'll use square brackets and say from -600, so from the left to the right, to its original position basically. We will add some delay, li, and let's say 100 times our iterator, whoops, like that, and opacity, that just makes it look a little nicer, from 0 to 1 this time, and finally our easing, this time it will be ease out expo, and that should basically be it. Let's see if we got any errors. I kind of expect we do, but let's see. Yeah, unexpected token function. Let's see. Fetch 65, 56. Let's see, where is that? Wait a second. Unexpected token function. It should be in this line, set timeout function. Let's see. Set timeout function. Okay, it's not working. What is it? Let's find out. So we have our dot then, and yeah, guys, help me. Let's see. We should indent that, but that's not where the error comes from, pretty sure. Oh. Oh, guys. Now I'm seeing it. So we have to copy that. And do you see the brackets right there? These are the ones that match. And we wrote it inside there. That, of course, does not work. This is how it should work. Let's see. Yep, no errors. Let's check it out. Still nothing. Let's see. Whoops. Whoa. That's not what I wanted to do. Console is saying something again. It's in line 35. Let's check that out. Oops, typo. Location. Now it should work, I think. Let's check this out again and click. Nothing. Come on. 36. Oh, probably same typo, right? Yep. It's good. Yeah, awesome. Nice. You see, guys, we are loading in HTML without refreshing the page. And that's just like a quick example. And it's really not even that functional because we're not even changing like the color of the active page. See, we're going on popular and it's still new. That's like highlighted, but these are just small things. I hope you guys understood what I did here. It's really not too difficult. I think it's really simple, and check it out. It's only like 70, actually 69 lines of code, and I think that's just really awesome, and it's a really good way to give websites some more life and not like refresh them the way normal websites refresh, right? I hope you guys learned something, play around with this, show me what you guys created, and yeah, I hope you liked this one. Give me a like, leave a sub, and I see you guys in the next video. Bye!